provided council with a list of the items that are currently under review for fiscal year 19. I just wanted to review the items here, obtain any feedback before we providing proposed budget to council. The highlighted items were requested by departments, but will likely be deferred to future budget years. And just wanted to briefly kind of go over them and see if council had any thoughts on them. Right under staffing salaries, we have for your human resources management, additional full-time employee, $48,665. I'm sorry, I cannot talk. $48,665. For purchasing, last year we had funded 75% of fiscal year 18. I say last year, I'm already in fiscal year 19. For the current year, we funded 75%, and then so next year, looking at a total funding of $59,080. Under the police department, an additional crossing guard for Leech Run Parkway, $4,000. Planning and zoning, additional planner position for $65,000. Planning and zoning, again, this is the property maintenance. Last year we had funded fiscal year 18, current year, we funded half the year at $58,000, and next year would be $108,150. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the orange highlighted items there, but those are the items that would likely be deferred. Moving down to the services here, under tourism, a new website and hosting for $8,040. Tourism again for the co-op advertising, $10,000. Tourism again for revised and updated advertisements, brochures, photography, blogger, and social media, $15,000. The artisan trail, I believe that's still under review at $5,000, and that may have already been pulled. The community development, we have a new departmental operational expense at $41,500. We also have money that's been set aside on a purchase order that could be used for this as well. Just something to put out there. Finance absorbed the credit card fees rather than charging the extra fees online or by telephone. That would cost approximately $80,000. Janitorial service contract for Town Hall and new police department, $25,000. Mowing for Leech Run Parkway, $28,000. Tree work under horticulture there, $16,000. The AMI maintenance is $157,912. That's in addition to the debt service that would be incurred. Under the water plant, DEQ regulation study and potential design of screens for changing regulations. It's going to be about $100,000. Refuse, we're going to outsource the tub grinding services for $25,000. And then under streets, a surveyor, because our current surveyor is retiring from the town, so we will be outsourcing that at $15,000. Machinery and equipment. We'll read on the front area of the visitor center, the brochure racks at $4,000. The police, under communication equipment, $50,000. This is a lease to own project for the radio equipment at the police department that's needed, rather than purchasing it outright. We would try to do a lease to own on that. Three-phase site analyzer for the electric department, $25,000. Transformer for Kendrick Lane substation. We've already put in year 1 this year. Fiscal year 18, this would be year 2 for $142,500. The estimated debt service on the AMI project, $207,000. First year asphalt roller starting to incur for a period of 5 years there, $30,000. Line locator for streets, $7,000. Ground penetrating radar machine, my understanding this would be for the transite piping, $18,000. Printer for construction plans, about $4,500. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the deferred items there. Vehicles, the police department has 3 vehicles to be replaced based on their guidelines for vehicle replacement, each costing $42,688. Horticulture is looking to replace 2003 25 hunter pickup with a lift gate at $40,000. Would also be used for snow removal, from what I understand. Electric Department, 1999 C8500 bucket truck. Looking to split this up over 2 years, $210,000. And then 3 refuse trucks, as pending our review and study that will be reviewed with council here at the next work session. We have a 1 year of 5 payments at $42,333 each. Again, just glancing over there, orange highlights. Buildings and structures, fleet management. Looking to start allocating money for a new building over multiple years for them. We have put some money aside this year, have an architectural design done on that. We're in the process of having that done, and it's just a rough number that's put in there. It's could be higher or lower there. Replacing the carpet in the town hall lobby is to be determined. Amount. Water sewer line maintenance is looking for an equipment storage building for the mini backhoe, UTV, easement machine, and snow blowers, about $24,000. Community development, the CDB projects. We did not receive the CDBG funding this year. We had allocated $65,000 in the current year. May choose to move forward with the remaining of that project next year, or we could prolong it. Then going down here to infrastructure, we would continue with the purchasing of radio water meters, the debt service for the town's portion of the parallel lines in the corridor, $103,500. Again, we had incurred some debt service on that this year, and that incurred, but we allocated some money for that this year as well. Installing the curb and gutter, that amounts to be determined if we want to move forward with those. Maintaining the crosswalks, $30,000. Then the primary paving plan at $328,933. The secondary paving plan is highlighted in orange to be deferred. If funding comes through for the primary extensions and other VDOT funding, we would allocate that to the secondary paving plan as we've done for the current budget cycle. So again, just wanted to briefly go over those and just hear if council had any feedback on it.
Edelman?
Jane? Where does that put us with our budget? In general numbers?
We would be, if we included all of this, we would be over the current year's budget, which is why additional items are anticipated to be deferred. We're just trying to...
No, I'm talking about the ones you the highlighted ones. You're talking about the regular.
Yeah.
Are they already, there's money could be set aside without raising taxes for all of those things?
No, sir.
No.
We could not. That's why we're here, just to get some time, get some thoughts.
Yeah, we haven't, Gene, we haven't made this is our first initial cut. And
But what I see, we're looking at a pretty substantial increase of the budget from
Right.
last year to this year, if these things would even be a possibility of being done.
right,
Major.
right, and we really, we did our first review, and now that BJ's getting his revenue forecast straightened out, it gives us a level idea of where we need to cut and what we need to balance with. But our main objective tonight was just to get to let everybody know some of the big ticket items that are being discussed that may possibly be tabled for a future year, or something that we may want to handle this year as well. So we really were just trying to get some feedback from council on things that we have here that may be an opinion that we may want to wait, or some things that you may consider a high priority for the town to move forward on.
Jake?
A couple of things. Number one, I think I've asked this question before and I can't remember the answer to it, but when you're talking about adding positions, well, one of the ways that positions are evaluated in my world is based on productivity. So there's benchmarks and numbers for the number of patients that come through clinic, that determines how many staff that you should have per your volume.
Right.
It's a good guide to let you know if you're overstaffing or understaffing compared to industry norms. Do we have any kind of analytics that that depict that same picture for staffing? Because when I see staffing positions added, which it's been since the last few years I've been here, there's always been more positions added. I really have no way of gauging if it's needed or not needed, or why can't that job be done with the same person that's been there? Is it measured against growth? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like I'm just
right.
trying to
And
figure that out.
We do have some backup.
We do have some backup, and we will supply further backup once we get further. We just, at this point, they are on the radar.
Okay.
The ones that are not been highlighted are ones that are, at least for me, in my opinion, are a priority to some degree. But we will supply all that backup information for council to make a decision.
So I couldn't comment on any of those things until I saw that kind of information. But the other thing is you put out this list, and I read this before I came in here, and of course I have some questions about little things, but then I kind of pulled back and was like, I really am not in the driver's seat to be saying whether or not we want the artisan trail in this year over something else, and I was wondering, are you looking more for the guidance of what's a priority to us individually in each one of those items, or whether or not we want to say, hey, we want to hold our budget pretty much flat to next year aside from our capital improvement projects or the ones that we've just brought on, and that's your goal from us, or no more than 2% or no more than 5%. Like, what seems to be the easiest way? Because I imagine if you ask us all what we're thinking about this, you're gonna get a whole table full of each person nitpicking each item out of this, and we've done that before, and it's just painful.
Agreed. Yes, I mean, if we had some sort of, like you say, benchmark, if there is something on here we know that, council definitely wants us to make, to put in there, then yes, if we're all in agreement. Or if we had a benchmark, if we didn't want to increase by so much of a percentage, that would be just some sort of, guidance would be, go a long way.
Because with 75% of these items, I probably couldn't tell you whether we needed them or didn't. Tree work, I don't know if that's a good price or not, or if we could get by in-house or not, or if that needs to be outsourced. I mean, I don't know on those things. But I could tell you, like, if what I would prefer as far as total dollars, if we were able to stay flat or only increase by a couple percent or something along those lines.
And I have additional backup on each and every one of these items. If you'd like to forward it up, I was just trying to I didn't want to get you too much in the weeds.
Oh no, I mean that's my point though, is I'm sure that you guys have justifications and reason for them, otherwise they wouldn't be on the list. But what I guess I'm trying to get out there is it the best use of everybody's time for council to pick out each one of these items rather than just give you the general consensus of where we want to be with the budget and let you guys make that determination of where the items that should be there and shouldn't be there.
Right. For me, the objective tonight was to at least get the top ticket items in front of you, to at least for what we're entertaining and what we've already tabled already from the start. So for me, it's just more of information for council to know.
Okay.
Well, I would like to object. My objective is this year, and you've already told us that and I think BJ will verify that, our income is going to be pretty much flat, right?
I agree. Yeah.
So the only way that any of these things are going to be done, if it includes tax increases, is the only way that any of these can be done for rate increases either through water or sewer or garbage and or electric. So I'm going to be just as honest as I can be. We've already allocated basically to say that we're going to put money in extra for the police department. Right?
We're going to raise taxes for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't know how much yet. We haven't set up on that thing yet. But I'm going to be honest with you. I want this thing pretty close to being flat, period. Whatever it takes for you guys to give us a flat budget, that's what we're paying you and BJ and the department heads for. Get the things that we think we need, but not the dreams. And that's where I'm going to stand on the budget this year. Because I don't think that the town can afford to see a 2, 3, 4% increase in real estate, nor water or sewer or garbage collection rates. So that's my philosophy to you as our manager, is to bring us a budget back that's balanced that we can live with, instead of raising everything in order to get the dreams that I see here on this iPad to see.
I can assure you that me and BJ have always started from the beginning, and we still work that
Don't get
way.
me wrong, I'm not saying you're not doing that.
Right.
But that, you asked what I want to
But-
see, that's what I want to see.
Okay.
I think council as a whole, and I'll get right to you in a second, Bill, wants to see a balanced budget.
Oh,
At least tax increase. You know, it's, we fight this every year. Bill, do you have a question?
Well, the one that popped out to me, I'm very concerned with citizen safety, and the one that popped out to me, first off, was a crossing guard at the new school. I mean, we as council are already hearing that from our constituents. We need more safety features, lights and whatever down there that we don't have.
Why would that be a county function?
It's town.
It's a town. It's a town function.
I know, it's a county school. We don't do
Town
the,
streets.
well, I understand that, but we don't do any of the parks or anything.
I'm just making a point here that that's important.
Oh, I agree.
And the second thing to me is our initiative in crosswalks can't be just say, oh, we did that last year. We're gonna have to continue because we've already had another fatality. And I'm very concerned about that. You know, our traffic study, I was gonna bring up in our traffic study, I still don't know what the status of these recorders out here are on Main Street where these vehicles are going. The Public Works Director was going to tell us. But my point being, there are some safety issues that have high priority that we've got to consider. You can't just brush them off. That's my point.
I understand.
And you have to have trash trucks pick up trash. But I think Joe and BJ and the staff will give us a good budget. I have very much confidence. John?
So I don't want those to become like each council member with their own pet topic, because that's essentially, I mean, we're going to get into that when we get to the budget legislative portion, right? I'm curious right now, kind of for context, like how far off the pace are we with what's presented here with the deferrals? Like, how much more do you feel needs to be deferred to give us a balanced budget off of the list that's been presented here this evening? I don't know, maybe that's a BJ question.
It may be BJ, if he, that's a,
The,
How far off the pace are we?
the enterprise funds are not far. General fund is mainly where we're all facing.
we know we're gonna have some more hard cuts to make. But we also wanted council to be aware of the ones we've already cut. And,
Can I push you a little bit more, BJ? I noticed there's no
I
totals
was
in
giving
here.
them time to
Yeah,
answer before
there's no totals in here, so minus the highlighted section.
I'm not gonna hold your feet to this later. But just a general ballpark, like, are we 4 or 5 million off the pace, or are
No,
we?
we're
Are we
a ballpark between 1.5 million total wise. After the orange highlighted deferred.
So it's tough. It's not crazy, but it's tough. Yeah.
it's manageable. I believe
I think
it's
what really puts us
manageable.
over the top is those trash trucks. They're big ticket items. And that really pushes the button.
Well, again, it's this,
Quite a few in
again,
there.
it's,
You get 400,000 for new
Yeah.
buildings, you
Sure, yeah.
got.
I feel like I always ask you about like the recycling program, and like the solid waste question has been on my mind for a while, and I know that we're gonna talk about that in a
2
couple
weeks.
weeks, so I don't want to jump on that either, but it's good to know, I think, the context of this list as we
Okay.
keep moving forward, because there are some things on here that if I had my way, they'd come off right now, but again, we're gonna have to go through that process.
And we're having a pretty early start on this, so.
I appreciate that.
But if there's anything on there that you want to have additional information on, feel free to contact me. I do have additional.
Well, I want to thank you, Joe, because this is what I asked for last year, you know, to give me a list of personnel,
Right.
equipment, and all the other things, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that last year we worked out a great process, and that's what we're trying to follow this year, and we'll tweak it as we move through this year, and if there's any other changes or additions that come out of this process to add, we will improve it even more.
Thank you, BJ.
One other one,
Oh.
I thought the tourism dollars that we glean, why are we actually looking, you know, I don't want to be approved, I'm like Councilman Mazer, I don't think I have the expertise to decide we ought to be doing our artesian trail. I thought that was already funded through the food tax.
For our tourism, the tourism funding comes from lodging. And there is a portion of it, but there's also gonna be a portion that would come from other funding sources if we go over the amount for the lodging. So and it's just mainly to make everyone aware.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's the way I read the first line, that's what it said.
And if I can interject a little bit on that as well, this will be the first year that we're actually will have an actual department for community development. Last year, we supported that division over with the PO that we had open. So this year, you'll see in the budget process an actual another department called community development. So that's why some of those numbers are in there, my understanding as well.
That's
Just
correct.
for you'll be aware that now that we have moved forward with bringing that in-house as a full-time employee in that department, those expenses we want to itemize for that we can track for future budgets as well.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, we were under contract, and last year, July, we brought her on.
On
board
April
as an employee.
1st, April 1st
Yes.
last year, we brought,
Yeah, just make sure I have concerns
Hart.
to make sure she has enough budget to operate. That's, you know, you gotta have money to operate.
That's right.
Can't have it. Thank you, BJ.
Yeah, that's it.